Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where we're going to be talking about Masayuki Suzuki's song featuring Suu from Silent Siren called Giri Giri, which is also, I don't usually have the anime facts, but is also apparently the theme tune to an anime which translates as Love is War. Do I know much about this? Well, I'm going to just basically cover, first of all, I don't know much about anime, but I did accidentally see a live action film of that anime, so I get the tone of it. I know it's kind of fun. I actually found the live action film that I saw quite funny, but I'm mostly here because of the fact that I know Masayuki Suzuki is quite famous, but I'm more familiar with Suu from Silent Siren, as you may know if you've been following this channel, and she has a featurette in this song. Now, first of all, let's get it out of the way. What did I think of the song? Well, I'm going to briefly review that in saying that I thought it was fun. It was good. It's not going to reshape the world, but as a theme tune, it's kind of got that sort of peppy, fun, slightly cheeky show tune vibe. Yes, it really bursts forwards, and I know that some people might find it a bit cheesy, but I think that's part of the charm. I did notice that when I was talking on our Discord for this channel, do find the link in the description below, that one of our regular contributors said that the guy reminded him of someone and eventually settled on Pikotaro, who did Pen, Pineapple, Apple, Pen, and I did kind of get that middle-aged guy with a good hairline, sunglasses, flamboyant clothes, waving himself around vibe, and I gotta admit I kind of agree, but this guy is clearly not so much a comedian as someone who's just a performer, and I loved that. But what are we mainly here for today? Well, as I say, I am a fan of Silent Siren, and we've been looking forward a while since Silent Siren had their breakup, which has of course happened in stages, but eventually completed with their final Familiar tour, and we've been waiting to see what they'd do next. Now, from certain aspects of what they were doing, there were some positives and negatives. We had the whole Chateau app and the SIREN thing, and I don't think yet anyone really knows what either of those are. I am on the Chateau app and I'm not entirely sure what it is yet. You'd think they would have made it clear by now. And as for SIREN, I mean, there's potential for all these things, we don't really know what they are. In the case of Iron Yan, the bassist, obviously she's got other skills as well. She could go and do bass for other people, but she could also do her own music. Technically speaking, she could be an artist. She's done kids books, she's done art. That's something that she'd be great at doing. She could do that as well. We've got Yukaran, who obviously is out there with her own fashion company, Jour de Mugère. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but you know, she's got her own side projects and things that she's doing, and of course Hina was the first one to leave, so I'm sure she's already very clear on what she wants to do, if indeed anything. But in the case of Suu, she's the interesting one. I think that Suu is a massively underrated musician. I've said this many times before. Two of the things working against her is, of course, she is playing guitar while singing and effectively playing rhythm guitar in a pop rock sort of band where the guitar is not pushed too far to the forwards. Yes, it is quite clear and prominent in a lot of their songs, but it's not blasted in your face. And as a result, you know, she's not the sort of person you look at as being, oh wow, she must be a great guitarist, or sort of guitarist who really shows off. And that's not necessarily what a great guitarist does anyway, but I think it's one of the reasons why she's overlooked. If you really listen to her as a guitarist, she is fantastic. She's got a fantastic way of playing. She might not do the most technical stuff, but she plays with a lot of passion, a lot of feeling. I really like the way she plays. The second thing is in regards to her voice. She's got that kind of higher register voice, which I know a lot of people think of, well, that's Japanese pop singing. Totally true, but often we can mistake that kind of thing. The word I often hear is thin. Now, I've said this a million times before, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the truth is singing in pitch in a higher voice, it's harder. Think about it scientifically, you've got more waves per second. Staying in the right pitch is more complicated. It also means that you can express a lot more than people think. They just automatically hear a high-pitched voice and think, well, that must be sort of thin, poppy singing. I think she's got a lovely voice. I think she uses it very well. So let's move on to her position in this song, Giri Giri. Now, I was really excited because before I first heard this song, I heard the guys on our Discord talk about what it was for. Like I say, I don't know much about anime. Everything's a theme tune here after all. But I remember seeing that, as I say, that movie and thinking, hey, this is actually quite funny. And so as a result, thinking she's doing the theme tune for something like that with a guy who looks like a lot of fun, and she doesn't seem to be holding a guitar in any of the pictures, this could be something where she really gets to have some fun. Now, I held a little poll on our community page for YouTube, and it was basically asking, what do you think constitutes a featurette on a song? And you can probably see where I'm going with this, because the problem is that, you know, Suu was there, she sung along with him, she was in the entire song singing along, but effectively she was singing harmonies to him in the background and effectively backing up his style. Is this good or bad? Well, let's look at the good things about that. First of all, it's nice to hear her adopting someone else's style. You want to hear the artists you love, not just doing their own signature sound, but pushing themselves into other things. And also, you know, it's cool hearing her voice with someone else, not just, oh, I'll wait for my turn. Yeah, I get all of that. The problem is that to me, it didn't really feel like she brought anything to the song. No disrespect to her. The reason I say that is because let's say you didn't know it was Sue. Let's say you didn't even know who Sue was. You took her out as a name, as a face. You didn't watch the video, you just listened to the song. There's plenty of songs like that where you have a backing vocal, usually even turned up quite loud, where the singer is being constantly accompanied by female singers in the background. Add a large volume, loud volume, doing harmonies, and you don't go, wow, this features the backing singers. Yeah, okay, you could say there might be some examples of that, but it's not exactly what you're thinking of, wow, we've taken the lead singer from a well-known band, we've put her in something new, we're going to show how she can do this as well. It just kind of feels like she's mirroring. To me, I felt it didn't really give her a chance to showcase any talents. And yes, you might say, well, this is his song, but he is mentioning her as a featurette. I just didn't feel like she really brought anything to it. Now, that sounds cruel, and I still think she did a fantastic job. I just think it was a bit of a disappointment, especially considering how much, especially a Silent Siren fan, after Silent Siren's breakup, has been looking forward to the next creative musical outputs. So, musikashi, difficult. That was the worst Japanese you've ever heard. I was just speaking to a Japanese person before this. That's why I briefly slipped back into awful Japanese, and I did an English accent as well. Just everything about that was awful. Anyway, let's carry on before your ears are burnt. So, I decided to have a little look at some of his other songs. I know he's well known, I'm not hugely familiar with his music. I know he kind of does those more big, flamboyant, showy type tunes. Then I saw another song that he did with GIRI Suzuki, which had a name which was something like Daddy Go Daddy. It was one of those names where that's the name of a website company, isn't it? Where you look at it and go, okay, this is twee, I hope. I listened to it and it was kind of the same thing. It was a video of him standing with her to one side and her basically copying everything that he did. Now, where does this leave us? Well, it leaves me kind of saying, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they've agreed to it, he's agreed to it, but I think as a fan of GIRI Suzuki or as Sue from Silent Siren, I would be looking at it kind of going, well, okay, it just kind of feels like you've just done your round in a cover band on a cruise ship. Like, it's all very good, nice to see you doing something different, but I just don't really feel that this did anything for you except for get you on the screen with someone who seems to be very successful. And from that side, I am happy. I am happy that Sue is still doing musical stuff. I'm happy to see that she's in a position where she's going to be hopefully recognised. It might even draw more fans to what she's doing. However, if people are going, oh, who is this Sue? And then typing in her name and effectively that's all she's got, I feel like she needs to be, if she's going to do this sort of thing, she needs to be building a creative identity, doing some of her own music and quickly. Because if this is to promote her, she needs to have some stuff in her name. And, you know, I don't necessarily think that this will link people directly back to Silent Siren as quickly as you might think, or even that that's what she wants, because if the future for her is not Silent Siren, I know they said they're kind of on a hiatus, but we've mentioned on this channel before, as much as I hate it, there's a lot of indications that hiatus might not end anytime soon. I feel like she needs to be making a bit of an identity for herself. So maybe it's baby steps, maybe it's her greeting an opportunity with open arms. I don't know, but I just kind of felt honestly like, okay, good to seeing her doing something creative. I wasn't hugely into it myself as being like a big thing, and I did kind of feel that, I am looking at my phone for a reason, I did kind of feel like I wanted to hear something more from her where we could really see what she would do stretching her legs outside of the realms of Silent Siren. So let's have a look and see what people have said to this poll. My poll said, what makes an artist feature really an artist feature? And I gave 4 options. For the first one, guest must write some part of the song. That's the most extreme version. 8% agreed with that. The next one was guest must perform lead vocal / instrumental at some point. I didn't even say for how long. 60% said that, which would kind of back up the feeling that I don't really think that this is what people wanted from a featurette. The next one is can be in the background so long as performing their signature sound. I would argue that's not what happened here either, in that Suu was kind of not really singing any style that, I mean, it was her voice, but not any style that you go, oh yeah, that's Suu. I mean, maybe that's the way she wants to perform solo, but we have no indication of that yet. 12 people said that, meaning that 72%, almost 3/4, have basically already said, and you could add the 8% as well, who were on the extreme side, that takes us up to 80% have said this wasn't really what they would consider to be a featurette, and then the last 20% agreed guest just has to turn up and do something, no rules. So anyway, there you go. Those are my final opinions. Good song, enjoyed it. Really happy to see Suu doing something creative and doing something musical. Was it what I wanted from Suu in a collaboration? No, but I'm happy the song exists. I'm happy if it's the indication of good things following, and that's where I'm going to leave you for today. So as always, get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, for now, ciao ciao.